Hi, welcome guys. In this slide, we will learn about labor. At the end of this topic, you should be able to calculate remuneration using time-based and calculate remuneration using output-based. In this slide, we will learn about concepts of labor, classification of labor, HR and its function, why and how recording of labor, and remuneration method. Concepts of labor per following. Labor are involved with person and labor cost. Person is responsible for change material into product, and labor cost is defined as wages.
Basic cost accounting principles separate labor costs into one of two groups, direct and indirect. Direct labor includes all individuals directly responsible for producing a company's consumer goods or services. Examples include assembly line workers, production supervisors, delivery truck drivers and quality control inspectors. Direct labor is an important concept because these costs are allocated to each good or service produced by the company. Business owners typically manage direct labor through the use of specific time clock codes that can be directly traced to individual production departments. Indirect labor includes the cost for all employees working in the general or administrative positions in a company. Indirect labor is not directly involved in production of finished goods and considered as supported to direct labor. Examples include office supervisors, accountants, salesmen, maintenance personnel and administrative assistants. These individuals provide ancillary services to the company's production process. Indirect labor also adds to the indirect manufacturing overhead of the company. This labor cost is not allocated to the company's consumer goods or services. Business owners must pay for this labor through gross profits from product sales. An efficiently run human resources department can provide organization with structure and the ability to meet business needs through managing company's most valuable resources, its employees. There are several HR disciplines, but HR practitioners in each discipline may perform more than one of the more than 6 essential functions. The first function of HR are recruitment. HR advertise job postings, source candidates, screen applicants, conduct preliminary interviews and coordinate hiring efforts with managers responsible for making the final selection of candidates. Second function of HR is support workplace safety. Workplace safety is an important factor. Under the Occupational Safety and Health Act, employers have an obligation to provide a safe working environment for employees. One of the main functions of HR is to support workplace safety training and maintain federally mandated logs for workplace injury and fatality reporting. In addition, HR safety and risk specialists often work closely with HR benefits specialists to manage the company's workers' compensation issues. Third function of HR is employee relations. Employee relations is the HR discipline concerned with strengthening the employer-employee relationship through measuring job satisfaction, employee engagement and resolving workplace conflict. Labor relations functions may include developing management response to union organizing campaigns, negotiating collective bargaining agreements and rendering interpretations of labor union contract issues. Fourth function of HR is compensation planning. Like employee and labor relations, the compensation and benefits functions of HR often can be handled by one HR specialist with dual expertise. Sixth function of HR is training. Many HR departments provide leadership training and professional development. Leadership training may be required of newly hired and promoted supervisors and managers on topics such as performance management and how to handle employee relations matters at the department level.
Why labor recording is important and how is it done? Firstly, recording of labor to calculate wages. Secondly, to analyze the time spent for costing purpose. And lastly, for planning and control. Usually, recording of labor done by attendance record like time recording clock and output records such as timesheet. There are two remuneration scheme, time-based and output-based scheme. For time-based scheme, wages are paid based on number of hours worked. Basic wages and overtime are example of time-based scheme. For output or piecework or performance-based scheme, wages are paid based on number of units produced. Straight piecework, differential piecework, and piecework with guaranteed minimum wages are example of this scheme. This is summarize of formula for remuneration calculation. Click Next when you are ready. Let's do some exercise for time-based method. Amir is employed by Ikram Enterprise. His remuneration is calculated based on hours worked. The basic hours worked for a month is 200 hours at a rate of Rm 2.50 per hour. Calculate his basic wages. If he worked for 240 hours and overtime rate is 1.5 times higher than the normal rate, compute his total wages. Okay, the answers are as following. Gross wages is equals 200 hours times Rm 2.50 per hour equals Rm 500. For B, gross wages are equal to basic wages plus basic overtime plus premium overtime. So, basic equals 200 hours times Rm 2.50 per hour equals Rm 500. Basic overtime equals 240 hours minus 200 hours times Rm 2.5 equals Rm 100. Premium overtime equals 240 hours minus 200 hours times Rm 1.25, which is equals Rm 50. So, gross wages is equals Rm 500 plus Rm 100 plus Rm 50 equals Rm 650. Shown is example of output-based scheme in straight category. Akif working in engineering company. Normal working day is 8 hours with a rate of Rm 22 per hour. Output for the month equals 500 units, while rate per unit equals Rm 2. Following are the answer. Please click Next to continue. Shown are questions for differential category in output-based scheme. The example is straightforward. You may read and click Next to proceed. Exercise for output-based scheme for guaranteed minimum wages is shown. Adam produced 400 units of baskets. Rate per unit is Rm 3 per basket. The company will pay guaranteed minimum wages of Rm 1,400. The policy of the company to pay Adam based on straight piecework scheme. Calculate the gross wages for Adam. Okay. Answer as following. Gross wages equals 400 baskets times Rm 3 equals Rm 1,200. Guaranteed minimum wages is stated as equals Rm 1,400. Therefore, gross wages of Adam is Rm 1,400 based on guaranteed minimum wages because it is higher than gross wages. Shown is analysis of gross wages based on direct labor and indirect labor costs. Basic wages, basic overtime and overtime premium falls into direct labor cost, while overtime premium falls in indirect labor cost category. Shown are advantages and disadvantages of time and output-based scheme. For time-based, the advantages are easy to calculate, stable income, and high-quality products can be produced. The disadvantages are no extra incentives provided, may create unproductive workers because of same routine every day. The labor turnover rate may be higher due to no extra incentives. For output-based scheme, advantages are following. Provide extra incentives to workers which may attract good workers, high satisfaction of workers because high remuneration paid, and increase motivation and productivity. The disadvantages for output-based scheme are as following. Hard to achieve high-quality output because the worker will compete for number of unit produced or completed, more difficult to calculate, and new workers will be at disadvantages because they are slower in completing the product. Several issues in labor exists, such as labor turnover and idle time. Labor turnover described when frequent changes in employees are costly to an organization. The cost of labor turnover is follow: loss of production, cost of advertising, cost of recruitment, and cost of training. On the other hand, idle time may cause by a number of reasons, includes machine breakdown, waiting for work, inefficiency, and material shortages. Shown is units produced plotted against hours per unit. The learning curve is based on the theory that new workers will become familiar with their work as they repeat the work they learn and gain experience. This helps increase their speed and their efficiency until they reach their maximum efficiency. Therefore, the amount of time taken to complete the work decreases. Thank you for your time. You may close the window.